When I was 16, my girlfriend broke up with me. I begged her to change her mind. I thought I was in love and couldn't live without her. I was an idiot. I'm 25 now. I've promised myself I'll never beg again. I've had several relationships and a few hookups. When they end, I'm sad but not weak. I've been with my girlfriend for a year and a half. We met at a work event and hit it off. We started seeing each other more often and made it exclusive. We talked about moving in together to save money. Her apartment is bigger, but I own mine. We were working things out. Last weekend, she said we were moving too fast. Then she said she wanted to break up because she wasn't sure I was all in. I said okay. Then she freaked out. Apparently, it was a test to see if I would fight for her. I don't do that anymore. I don't appreciate mind games. I told her I'd box up her things for her to pick up. She accused me of being a cold-hearted asshole using her for sex. I wasn't. I thought we had a future. My parents and sister loved her. I loved her. My parents think I'm being stubborn. My sister says I'm a jerk for not forgiving my ex. I just remember crying myself to sleep over a girl and refused to do it again. Is it my fault for breaking up with my girlfriend when she tested me? What do you think?
My brother is fighting metastatic bone cancer. Doctors say he has 3 and 5 weeks left. But we haven't told him, and we are deeply saddened. Family members have started coming to say goodbye. Danny requested no children around because he can't stand the noise and stress anymore. Our aunt plans to bring her 3 kids under 10 to visit. Danny has no patience for kids anymore, and it's not a suitable environment for children to play. Last week, our little niece accidentally pulled his IV line, and Danny exploded in anger. I decided to call my aunt, explain the situation, and ask her not to bring her kids. She blew up at me, saying I had no right to decide who could visit. Now she doesn't plan to come at all. This led to a huge family argument. My mom broke down, called me an asshole, and threw a salt shaker at me. She is under a lot of stress and not handling it well. Danny is unaware of all this. Did I do wrong by trying to keep a peaceful environment for my dying brother? My daughter has had a best friend, Sarah, since kindergarten, and now they're in 7th grade. This year, Sarah has become noticeably thin, and her mom approached me, worried that Sarah isn't eating. My daughter confirmed this, mentioning that Sarah barely touches her food at school. Suspecting an eating disorder, I advised my friend to take Sarah to the doctor. This week, my friend had to go on a work trip and asked me to look after Sarah. It wasn't a problem, so Sarah stayed with us for the week. On the first night, I made meatloaf, and Sarah ate it without any issues. Throughout the week, she ate everything I prepared, often coming back for seconds. By the end of the week, Sarah asked me why my food didn't make her sick. It turns out she only eats TV dinners at home, which make her feel awful. The school food also sometimes makes her sick, so she's cautious about eating it. I suspect there's an allergen in the processed foods she eats, and she needs to get that checked out. When I dropped her off, I pulled my friend aside and explained everything. I told her she really needs to cook meals and get Sarah tested for allergies. She was upset and called me a jerk for overstepping. Did I do something wrong?
Lily was excited. She brought her best friend Emma to visit her grandpa's farm. "Grandpa, this is Emma," Lily said, smiling wide. Grandpa smiled warmly. "Welcome, girls. I made lunch. Let's eat outside in the garden." But Emma looked around and then frowned. "This place is dirty," she said with a sneer. "The food smells weird. I don't eat food from old people." Lily blinked. "Emma, that's not nice." Emma rolled her eyes. "I want pizza, not this gross soup. And this chair? Ugh, it's ugly." Grandpa stayed quiet. He gently brought Emma a glass of juice, but Emma shouted, "This juice tastes bad. Do you live like this every day?" Lily stood up. Her face was turning red. "You can't be mean to my grandpa," she said, her voice shaking. "He works so hard to make this food. If you don't like it, you can leave," Emma gasped. "You're picking him over me?" Lily looked her in the eye. "Yes, my grandpa is kind. You are not. Please, go home," Emma huffed, then turned and stomped away. Grandpa looked at Lily, his eyes soft. "I'm proud of you," he said. They sat down and enjoyed the soup together. Drop a heart if you agree.
Turns out I'm the favorite child, and I never knew it. I've always felt lucky to have it easy in school. I'm social, don't study too hard, but still get good grades. My sister, meanwhile, is the opposite. She's shy, stays in her room reading, and works non-stop to maintain her 4.0 GPA. Growing up, she'd sometimes say our mom favored me, but I never took it seriously. Then, last month, we took a psychological evaluation for college prep. My sister scored a 140 IQ, way above mine. I thought I was smarter because things came naturally to me, but her score changed everything. I started looking back, questioning things I'd ignored before, like how our home videos mostly show me how I had big birthday parties and she didn't. I started to think maybe she was right. I felt too embarrassed to bring it up with anyone. I didn't want to admit I'd been wrong all these years. I finally decided to show her the post I'd made about it online, and we sat down to talk. She did something I didn't expect. Instead of getting mad, she stood up for me in the comments, asking people not to be hard on me. She explained that being autistic is one reason our mom treats us differently, and admitted she shouldn't have made me feel guilty. In the end, we both understood each other a lot better, and I learned just how strong our bond is.
I was with my best friend Emily, just minding our business when a white van suddenly pulls up. 2 masked guys jump out and they grab her. She starts screaming for help and I panicked. I thought Emily was being kidnapped.
What?
Like trafficked. So I grabbed my pepper spray and went full defensive mode. I sprayed one guy in the face, kicked another in the shin, and dragged Emily away while shouting for 911. Cops were on the way. It was chaos. But turns out, it was a proposal gone wrong. Chris, Emily's boyfriend, and his friends planned this whole kidnapping surprise thing because Emily wanted a movie-style proposal. Emily was crying, Chris was crying from the pepper spray, and I just stood there like, what just happened? Now Chris is so mad at me, saying I ruined everything, and Emily's like, I get why you freaked out, but maybe read the room. But how could I have known? A van, masked guys, and her screaming. It felt real.
I just graduated high school and am going to college in the fall. Yesterday, my girlfriend told me she's pregnant. At first, I felt sick, but then I was like, what? How? I used a condom every single time, and I never had a condom break, come off, leak, nothing. So I don't really see how this is possible. I told her I won't believe her until I see a pregnancy test. And even if she is pregnant, I won't believe it's mine until I see a DNA test. I mean, if it's true and I really got her pregnant, I'll be there and support her even if it totally derails my life. But I honestly know how I could have got her pregnant. She's been really sad about me graduating and leaving. She cried on my last day of school. So I feel like this has something to do with her just wanting to keep me here or something. Of course, she cried and called me an insensitive asshole and isn't talking to me right now. She could have sent me a pic of the test, but I've seen nothing. Am I wrong for telling my girlfriend that I won't believe she's pregnant until I see a positive pregnancy test and won't believe the baby is mine until I see a DNA test?
My husband used to work to support the family while I stayed home taking care of our 2-year-old daughter. Last month, he lost his job and told me he felt exhausted and wasn't eager to do anything. I said okay and offered to work so he could look after our daughter at home and get some rest until he feels better. By the way, our daughter goes to daycare, so it's mainly some housework and picking her up. But he said no, he needs his time to be completely free. I got furious because this means either I work while also taking care of our daughter or our family will face significant financial pressure. But I stepped back anyway and had a hell of a month doing everything while he hung out with his friends and played PS5. Finally, I couldn't take it anymore and told him he had to choose between being a house husband or divorce. He chose the first, but it felt forced. I keep questioning myself. Was I too harsh?
I will always remember my wedding day because of my dress and the way it disappointed my new family. When I got engaged to husband, his family told me about their tradition. Every bride in their family wears a blush-colored dress. It was important to them. So when I went dress shopping, I kept an open mind. Then I found it, my dream dress. It was perfect in every way, except for one thing. It was white. I brought my mother-in-law to see it. She smiled at first, but then her face changed. She asked if I could have it altered to blush. I agreed to ask, but I already knew my answer. This was my dress. The seamstress shook her head. The fabric wouldn't take dye. My mother-in-law said, then you need to pick another dress. I shook my head too. The wedding day came. I walked down the aisle in my white dress. I already knew what would happen next. During the reception, my mother-in-law pulled me aside. Why did you do this? She asked, eyes filled with disappointment. I didn't have a good answer. I just knew I couldn't give up the dress I loved. Then my husband spoke. He was disappointed too. I knew this moment would come, and yet it still hurt. Should a wedding be more about the couple's happiness or about respecting family traditions?
I tell my husband never in the delivery room again. I was in labor with my first child, and Sean had been amazing throughout my pregnancy. When contractions started painfully early in the morning, he refused to get up, saying, "It's not real labor yet. I need my sleep for when it is." I went downstairs alone, managing the pain in silence. Hours passed, and the pain got worse. I finally shouted for him to come help. Even once we got to the hospital, he kept leaving the room, making excuses for coffee, food, phone calls, each time leaving me more alone in my agony. My labor dragged on for 10 hours, and I felt abandoned in one of the hardest moments of my life, wishing he would just stay by my side. Then, during the delivery, I tore badly and needed stitches. The male doctor began stitching, and Sean chose that moment to joke, "Can you add a few extra stitches for me, mate?" I was humiliated. He knew my trauma related to male doctors, and instead of comforting me, he added to my shame. When I told him later that I didn't want him in the delivery room for future births, he said I was overreacting and that it was just nerves.